Alright, students, we're back yet again. This time, now we are, the last time we left off our heroes, we've already named our project. We've decided what it was. We planned out a few goals on how we're going to do this stuff, like how we're going to put in the hours, or how many hours you're putting in, who's helping us with this project, how am I going to use the money, or who's giving me money, or how am I making money to earn this project. Now, what are you going to do with that money? This is where you're going to be budgeting this stuff, okay? So we're going to go ahead and click on budget. Alright, so as you remember, we have our pig, Betsy, in which we're planning out, okay? There is only one Betsy, alright, that's why the quantity is 1, but how much profit are you trying to make off of this and spend? So we'll find out. This is all pretend ones, so when you are budgeting, that means you are shooting for the worst case scenario on how much money you're going to be spending. So this right here is the income. Alright, we don't know how much money we're going to be making on this project. Alright, you can probably think, oh my gosh, I'm going to raise a pig because I'm going to make so much money. Alright, well, hey, let's be realistic. Maybe you're going to sell it for the bottom dollar at the auction. Maybe you're optimistic that you're going to sell it for a lot of money, but let's just say you're going to sell this pig for maybe $1,500. Alright, that is a very bad case scenario, but let's just put that. Make you humble a little bit, okay? So what it says is that maybe you're planning on making $1,500 on this project, okay? Now, maybe there's other income, because sometimes people can be spending a little bit extra money on you to make this, for this project. So maybe somebody paid you $200 just because it had said, hey kiddo, you did a good job raising that pig Betsy, so here's $200, and you're like, gee, thanks. Thank you so much. Okay, so you'll be putting that stuff on there. Stock show sale, I guess that would be in terms of selling it at the fair, but you know what, we're going to put it under this category that says cash market sale, because after all, it wasn't really much of a show sale. Alright, so right here is just how much money you think you're going to make. And notice how it adds it up for you immediately, okay? Your actual income, that's going to come at the end of the year, okay? So we don't know what that is yet. That will come at a later time. But right now we're just planning out our project. We're just budgeting it. So we think maybe we're going to make $1,700 off our pig. Alright, but how much money are we going to spend? Alright, now you're probably going to have this pig for quite some time. You're going to be buying approximately 1 to 2 feed bags a week. And feed bags tend to be like 20 buckaroos. And 20 bucks like 2 times a week for like 18 weeks, that thing adds up. But usually people spend an average of $850, anywhere between $850 to $1,000 or $1,200 on feed. So of course we're gonna put the worst case scenario, all right? And of course the worst case scenario might be that you're just losing money on this thing, and hopefully you do not. But you know, we just want to make sure that you are understanding how much money you might actually spend on this thing. Veterinary medicine, well, you will have to buy medicine for your pig or for your animal, especially if you're deworming it. That's one of the most common things that you'll have to purchase. Now, so for deworming, a dewormer usually only costs like 20 bucks. If you're doing it for 3 months, once a month, then let's say you're spending anywhere between a good $60 or $80. But there might be other veterinary medicine that you might have to purchase, but we don't know. Supplies, especially if it's your first year, you're buying a show stick, you're buying halters, you're buying tack boxes. I don't know. There's a bunch of different things you might be purchasing. All right, so let's just say it's another 100 buckaroos that you're spending. Maybe you're repairing some part of your fence, or you're building up a something, then you will be putting that on there too. But that's probably not a very common category. Seed, this is not plants, so we don't put that. Fertilizer, chemicals, we don't. Other, this is where we're going to be putting the cost of your animal, because that doesn't go anywhere at all on here. So for other, let's say you purchase this pig for 500 bucks. All right, so we're going to put that on there. All right. So, and then for memo, that would just be putting things like, I don't know, purchased show pig. Show pig. Ta-da. So you can leave little memos on here to remind you, why did you put this 500 bucks here? Okay. Inventory for resale. Well, we're not doing any of that. Rent. Luckily, you guys don't pay rent to keep your animals at the school farm. Other students do. All right. So be happy. Entry and fees and commissions. Well, yeah, there is quite some fees. Let's just say it's $100. Fuel, maybe you're spending some fuel costs, but this doesn't mean to drive yourself to the school. This usually means if you have a tractor and you're driving and you're spending money on fuel to bring a row crop through the spring tooth or something like that. Custom hire, well, you're not hiring anybody, but this would be for a product that you would be doing other stuff. All this other stuff you don't have to worry about, okay? Now you see right here, we thought ahead that we might be spending anywhere between $1,960, okay, and making 1,700. So that's probably pretty a pretty good estimate. All right, we don't want to be too ambitious. This is a worst case scenario, of course. So this would be maybe you sold this thing for 1,500, but you spent a lot of money on your pig because you might. Okay, there are students that leave with a loss, and that's okay, and it calculates it for you immediately. You might lose $260 on this entire thing, but hey, that's why you don't always raise an animal for the money. You're doing it because you had some plans, all right? Maybe you had other goals with it. Maybe you want to gain some experience. Maybe you wanted to just learn how to raise a pig, right? All right, perfect. So that was that in terms of budgeting, all right? Now, the last parts that we need to do, all right, is put in those financial entries and journal entries. Perfect. This part didn't take that long. Wasn't that great? That's great stuff. All right. So the next parts that we're going to be doing is financial entries, journal entries, and then of course if you have any photos, you should put them in there because those stuff will make this a higher quality type of SAE project. So what you're going to be going to next is journal for your journal entries, and that's going to tell us how much we have in here, and then finances for our financial entries. And you can see right here there has none. All right. So we want to see these two completed, and you are good for your assignment. Once you're done with that, you're ready to move on to the next one. So we're going to be going over to journal and finances. First off, we're going to be going to journal, but that's going to be in our next video. Hopefully this video served to be a little bit helpful. Wasn't that bad. All we did was just put in how much money do you think we're going to be spending on this thing and making on it. Very simple stuff. All right. Next up, journal entries.